Hello, great people. Welcome to D and Z TV, the place where we give you up to date information of everything that is happening in the royal family, especially the Ooni of Ife's palace. So, right about now, we are here with another great information that is actually designed for your viewing pleasure. Now, the Ooni has actually come out to explain that some smoke was actually noticed in his chambers, a few days ago, and when smoke actually signifies a lot of things, as a lot of people don't understand. Smoke can stand for good and smoke can also stand for bad, but so for this one now, he only entered his inner chambers only for him to experience a whole lot of smoke, covering his bed, covering some very vital, important parts of the palace. And when things like this happen, it just shows one thing, that the gods are actually not very happy with the happenstances in the palace. And when the gods are not this happy with what's happening in the palace, all it requires some serious intervention of the palace. When interventions of the palace happens, then it now allows, it now degenerates to make things logically move well. As a matter of fact, to create an environment that people cannot actually really understand what exactly is happening. Now, truth be told, the Oni has actually passed through a whole lot in the palace of late year. A lot has happened in the palace that has made people have different notions and different ideologies of what's happening in the palace. And one of them is the only not being in total full control of everything happening in the palace. The women actually have been the ones who logically have been controlling things and making things happen the way they happen. Before now, anybody who hears anything concerning the royal palace of the Oni of Ife has to understand that the Oni is someone who wields all the power and control in the palace. Power and control in the palace that cannot be comprehended by anyone else. But right now, the reverse is the case. The reverse is the case right now because the women seem to have the higher power in the palace, where there's so much competition, there's so much trying to prove points, there's so much things are happening in the palace that makes one begin to wonder and get surprised of how did we get here. That has actually been the multi-million dollar question everybody has been asking. How did we get here? How did we get here? That's the question everybody's asking. And when nobody now has the power to answer such a question, it now becomes um, definitely too difficult for everything that happens. So, be that as it may, it's logically too not too correct. When people now begin to feel that, as a matter of fact, how did we actually get here? Where before now, once anybody has a problem, where you can get solution to your problem is when you're able to navigate to the palace. When you get to the palace, you are actually bound to have your solutions met. You're actually bound to have you're bound to have solutions to your problems. But right now, it seems as if the palace even has more issues and more challenges that anybody can comprehend and understand. And I mean, does it really make any logical sense when where you're thinking you're going to get solutions to, you now find out that the problems there are actually more that meets the eye. You now find out that it's actually kind of difficult for you to have a total understanding of how things are being run in the palace, especially, not even minding the fact that a lot of spiritual women of God have all tried their own possible best to see that things are given some different level of wisdom, some different level of understanding, some different level of care, to see that no matter what happens, the concept of the palace needs to go back to how it used to be before. Before now, um, the palace is one of the most revered places in the whole of the Ife kingdom. People who have spiritual issues go there for solution. People who have marital issues go there for solution. Even people who have financial issues all go there for solutions. But now it seems not to be that way anymore. Now, it seems to be tougher than anyone can squarely imagine. A situation whereby people have been able to have different notions and different dimensions and different inclinations of exactly what's happening at the palace of the Ooni of Ife. The palace of Ooni of Ife needs to go back to its former glory. The glory of the Ooni of Ife needs to return, and if the glory does not return and fast too, then this is the only dynasty that everybody has been celebrating in time past. People just hope to understand, people just hope to see, people just hope to have the inclination that the palace needs to return back to its glory. I mean, what was the glory of the palace? A place of succor. What was the glory of the palace? A place of freedom. What was the glory of the palace? A place where everybody is equal, a place where there was so much respect and so much breakthrough, a place where once you think of everything that is happening in the palace, you actually have some form of peace of mind and hope. So, if things logically do not get a proper um, addressing, then you now realize that people will continue to jump from pillar to post. Nothing really can really work well the way it's supposed to work. But right now, people from all walks of life are beginning to understand that it does not matter how difficult it has been, it does not matter how painful it has taken. What matters and what's really, really, really important is the fact that the Oni is beginning to get to a point of self realization where he actually knows that the glory of the palace must return.